What if the imaginary world you created was more important than the real one? Important enough to kill for? Meet Pauline Parker and Juliet Hulme, two teenage girls in 1950s New Zealand. They were outsiders, misfits, who found in each other what they couldn't find anywhere else. They bonded over a shared love of fantasy, and together they built a new reality, a magical kingdom they called the Fourth World. It had its own rulers, its own religion, its own laws. It was their escape, their paradise. But soon, that paradise became an obsession. Their imaginary world started to feel more real than reality itself. Their parents grew worried. They called the girls' intense friendship unhealthy. Then came the news that would shatter everything. Juliet's parents were getting a divorce, and they were sending her away to South Africa. For Pauline and Juliet, this was a death sentence. The end of their world, the end of the Fourth World. They had to escape together, but in their minds, one person stood in the way, a single obstacle to their happiness. Not a villain from their fantasy world, but a real person. Pauline's mother, Honora. They decided she had to be eliminated. The plan was documented step by step in Pauline's diary. The weapon of choice, a brick slipped inside an old stocking. August 22nd, 1954. The three of them went for a walk in a park. Pauline, Juliet, and Pauline's mother. In a quiet, secluded spot. They struck. After the brutal act, the girls ran to a nearby tea shop, covered in blood. They told everyone there had been a terrible accident, that Honora had slipped and fallen. But their story fell apart almost instantly. The police found the weapon, and then they found Pauline's diary. The trial was a sensation. The story of the two girls and their murderous fantasy world shocked the nation. Because they were too young for the death penalty, they were sent to separate prisons. A condition of their eventual release was simple, but absolute. They were never, ever to contact each other again. The two girls who created a world together were torn apart forever. They were released after 5 years and given new identities to live in anonymity. But here is the final chilling twist. Decades later, a journalist discovered the truth. Juliet Hulme, the imaginative girl who murdered for a fantasy, had become a famous best-selling crime novelist, writing under the name Anne Perry, the creator of a fantasy that led to a real murder. Spent the rest of her life writing fictional stories about crime, hiding her own dark secret from the world. Readers devoured her novels, tales of guilt, morality, and redemption, never realizing they were written by a woman who had lived those themes in the darkest possible way. She spent her life seeking forgiveness through fiction. But some say she never truly escaped the Fourth World. That part of her mind, the realm where fantasy and obsession blur, never closed its gates. And maybe, in every story she wrote, a fragment of that hidden world lived on. A reminder that sometimes the most dangerous fantasies aren't the ones we imagine, but the ones we bring to life.